So this is my 2019 Toyota Tacoma TRD Sport. What I'm working on today is I've got some carbon fiber sheets. So what I'm going to do with the carbon sheets is I'm going to cut them and I'm going to basically insert them on the side steps where the old inserts used to go. And then up here on the front kind of windscreen blocker there, I'm going to do kind of my own custom design and bolt that on there as a matte carbon fiber sheet, and then the blue will kind of just show through. I finished these carbon fiber inserts here on top of the blue powder coated steps. I'm pretty happy with how they came out. I think it really helps to break the blue up. There's a little bit too much blue without the carbon fiber inserts. So this helps a lot. Tux loves them. He's a big fan. So yeah. Come take a look and get a little bit closer.
Just like get closer?
Yeah, so it's just a thin sheet of carbon fiber, and I basically use the old aluminum insert that was on top of here as a template, cut it to size, sanded it, and then basically just bolted these on. But you see they look pretty sick. I mean, yeah. It really kind of helps break up the blue and looks really nice. And then I also did the same thing up here on this top windscreen. So these side steps are also from CBI Offroad. I've got a lot of CBI Offroad stuff on the truck. The roof rack is from them as well. I think their roof rack line, they call it Prinsu Designs. You can kind of see the Prinsu Design logo there, but it's the same company, so the roof rack is from CBI Offroad. But then these side steps, I pulled these off. These used to be black, and so I took these to Seattle powder coat when I did the cage on the side-by-side, and I tried to powder coat them as close to the Le Mans blue as I possibly could. The problem is with powder coat and wet paint is it's really hard to match. So I did the best that I could, but it's a little bright. The inserts that came with the CBI Offroad side steps for the Tacoma, they used to be black, but I pulled them off and I powder coated them yellow when I did the side-by-side roll cage. I thought it would be kind of cool to have a yellow accent on the side steps, because the side steps I powder coated blue. But I really don't like how this looks. It's too much yellow. It kind of looks like a clown truck. So I'm going to use these stock inserts as a template, and I'm going to cut this sheet of carbon fiber. And so we're going to use this matte carbon fiber on the side steps instead of these. Ideally, I would just take these back and have them powder coated, but I don't really want to have to go through that whole hassle of bringing them back and having them re-powder coated black. So I think just using this matte carbon fiber is going to be pretty cool. So we're going to use these as a template and just basically trace around them and cut them out with a Dremel, you know, sand them down nice and get them looking really good, and drill all these holes. So you see how there's these holes in this insert here, and basically we're just going to make this sheet of carbon fiber just like this. So we're just going to trace around this this insert. Use it as a template. So let's trace around this. So when I pull that off, you can see we just transferred that template over to this sheet of carbon fiber. And I'm just going to cut that out with a Dremel, drill all those holes, most probably with the correct size hole saw. And then those are basically just going to get bolted on to the side steps here, where the old inserts used to be, right here on those holes on the side steps. And I think it'll look pretty cool. It'll help break up the blue and kind of give it a nice little black accent. So the nice thing about flat sheets of carbon fiber is it's really easy to cut with a Dremel. It's really easy to cut pretty precisely. You can kind of sand it down to the perfect edge, and it's really nice to fill holes and stuff with it. So I did this a lot in the race car, for example, when I removed some of the vents in the race car on the front dash. You can fill those holes with just a flat sheet of carbon fiber pretty easily and make it look good. So I just got one more. And then the fun part is actually cutting it. The nice thing about these sheets is they come with this film on top of it. So you can mark it up, you can cut, you can sand, you can do whatever you want to do. And then when you're 100% done, you just peel the film off and it looks great. You can't see any of these marks. So it works pretty well like this. So I got this carbon fiber from a company called dragonplate.com. I'll put a link in the description. There's a few places online to get carbon fiber from. I've always had good success with this company. They always ship it. It shows up, you know, in nice packaging. It's never damaged. They've got a ton of different options on there. This is just a thin piece. I'm not sure how many millimeters this is, but this isn't structural whatsoever. This is basically just a sheet that's sitting on top of something. So I was able to get it pretty thin to try to be as cheap as possible on this one. So I'll show you what these yellow inserts look like. Kind of looks like a clown truck. I'm not a huge fan. I thought it would be cool, but it didn't turn out very well. So you see the yellow insert there. See if I can stand back far enough. Yeah, it's not great. Kind of looks like a clown car in person. I'm not a big fan. So I think the matte carbon fiber is going to be a lot better. The windscreen for the roof rack. But anyways, this carbon fiber cuts super easily. I just use a Dremel and a cutting wheel, just like that. And away we go. Now once I get it down to these smaller sizes that are a little bit easier to handle, I put the sanding attachment on the Dremel, and then basically I'm going to sand the edge down exactly to where I want it. This is kind of nice. This is my template right here. This is a piece of aluminum, and so I initially traced this on the carbon fiber, cut it out as close to it as I possibly can, but you see how there's still an edge all the way around. So the nice thing about this is I taped this template to the carbon fiber, and now I'm going to be able to just sand the edge to the template, and it's going to give me the exact size of this original piece right here. So this is actually making it pretty easy for me right now. So I'm just going to sand that edge all the way flush with this piece right here, and then I'll have the exact same shape as my original template, just like that. So there you go. So I basically just sanded it all the way around the edges to be flush with this aluminum template here. This is the stock original piece that was on the side steps that I basically pulled off, powder coated. Hated how the yellow looked on the truck, and so I'm using it as a template, so I don't really care if I destroy it or if I sand the powder coat off. It doesn't really matter. I'm just going to use it to basically get my carbon fiber to be a perfect shape. So pretty cool. That's making this pretty easy to do. So on to the next one. Okay, this is the final piece that I have to sand down. Almost done. Overall it wasn't too bad. I'd say maybe it took me like an hour to cut all these and sand them all to size, and then the last thing I have to do is just do some kind of finish sanding by hand just to get them kind of perfect looking to the eye. They're never going to be perfect, but you can at least kind of get them to where they look really good to the eye. And then I got to drill all the holes, so I'm going to sand this one and that'll be it. So this right here is the sheet of carbon fiber that's going to be going back on top of the roof rack on the windscreen. And so behind these holes, once I cut these holes out, is going to be the blue powder coated piece here. So I was trying to figure out what kind of design I wanted to do on this sheet of carbon fiber, and so I just took these inserts. These are the inserts that came on the side steps originally from CBI Offroad. And I just pretty much, measured from the end here about 2.5 inches in and set that first hole there. And then same thing on the other side. I just measured 2.5 inches in from there to the center of this hole and set that there. And I think this is going to be a pretty cool design. So we're going to cut all these holes out of this sheet of carbon fiber. And then basically that's going to go on the windscreen and back on the truck. So I think it's going to be pretty cool because basically the holes are going to match the holes in the side of the side steps over here. So we got sheets of carbon that are going to be filling those little spots right there that you see the holes, and then the upper windscreen here, it's not on the truck right now, is going to kind of match that. So I think it's going to be pretty cool. I think that's the way to go. Okay, so now I'm just sanding these carbon fiber insert sheets by hand to kind of clean up all the little carbon fiber burrs and just any imperfections on the side, and just kind of sand it down to give it that nice finished look. But this one is pretty much completed. As you can see, it looks pretty good and pretty much matches this guy. My template, pretty much matches that the same. Came out pretty good. It's really nice. Just film off because I'm done cutting, I'm done drilling, I'm done doing everything that could possibly damage the finish of the carbon fiber. Even though it's just matte carbon fiber, I still don't want to scratch it. So I'm going to pull this film off, and then I'm just going to hand sand it down to that completed finished look. Pull all this plastic off. It's nice that these carbon fiber sheets come with that protective plastic on them. So basically you're just going to sand it by hand. Just remove any of the carbon fiber burrs or anything that was left over from the drilling the holes. And just clean it up, make it. And there we go. That is a finished piece. And then these bolt holes, these don't really matter too much because this is where the bolt's going to go to hold it down, so it's going to cover up all those little burrs and everything in those holes. So this is the final piece here that I have to hand sand, and then I'm pretty much done. And I can install everything back on the truck. So this is the big piece for the windscreen on the upper roof rack. So we'll pull this plastic off. Oh yeah, looking good. I think this is going to be a cool design with the holes and then the blue showing through. I think it's going to be pretty sweet. So this is done. This is for the roof rack windscreen. I think it's going to look pretty good. And if I don't like how it looks, then I'll just pull this carbon fiber sheet off, and just running this windscreen with the powder coated blue I think does look pretty good. It's a little too much having the side steps completely blue and then this completely blue. But I think once I get the carbon fiber sheets on the side steps, if I don't like how this looks, I'll pull this carbon fiber sheet off, and I think the windscreen powder coated blue will look pretty dang good. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how I like it. I'll run it for a little while and make up my mind. But I have a feeling this is going to be pretty cool looking. Maybe a few more holes would have been nice. You know, like boom, 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 just to get a little bit more blue going. So, I don't know, maybe I'll do that in the future. But I'm gonna go with this for now. It's finished. Looks pretty good. From a distance, you're not gonna be able to see those little marks there. You see from a distance, it looks pretty dang good. It's pretty sick, and I got black screws to kind of make those screws disappear a little bit. Yeah, it's gonna look. I finished these carbon fiber inserts here on top of the blue powder coated steps. I'm pretty happy with how they came out. I think it really helps to break the blue up. There's a little bit too much blue without the carbon fiber inserts. So this helps a lot. Tux loves them. He's a big fan. So
Yeah.
come take a look and get a little bit closer.
Just like get closer?
Yeah, so it's just a thin sheet of carbon fiber, and I basically use the old aluminum insert that was on top of here as a template, cut it to size, sanded it, and then basically just bolted these on. But you see, they look pretty sick. I mean,
Yeah.
it really kind of helps break up the blue and looks really nice. And then I also did the same thing up here on this top windscreen. So put this on, because this is basically just one big sheet of powder coated blue aluminum. So this is the windscreen for the roof rack, and so this sheet of carbon fiber that I put up here helps to break that blue up quite a bit as well. So if you stand back and kind of look at the full truck, I think it looks awesome. I'm super happy with it. Looks really, really, really good. I need to kind of clean up. You can kind of see a little bit of the white cut marks around the carbon fiber, because when you drill it, it kind of creates a little bit of whiteness around here. So I think I'm going to pull this off, and I'm going to get like a black paint pen, and I'm going to try to clean up some of these little white marks that you can see. I mean, you can't really see it unless you really stare at it, but it bothers me enough that I think I am going to clean those up. But I think it looks pretty cool. I basically made my own design up here with these holes, just using the same inserts that were on top of these side steps. I just placed them on top of here.
It didn't have holes before?
No, this is just a sheet of carbon fiber.
Ah, it was just blue before, and then you put drilled the same holes. Okay.
So this is a sheet of carbon on top of that old
Blue.
piece that used to be here, which was just straight blue, and so now the blue is just showing through.
Wow.
But I'm really happy with it. I think it looks really good.